Picture a small cafe nestled in an unassuming, sunlit corner of Paris. The morning light is just beginning to filter through the green leaves of the plane trees, casting a soft, dappled glow onto the old cobblestone street below. At a tiny, round table on the terrace sits an older man. He is entirely alone, accompanied only by a single shot of dark espresso in a thick, white porcelain cup. Look closely at him. He isn't scrolling frantically through his phone. He isn't glancing nervously at his watch, anxiously counting down the minutes until his next appointment. Instead, he just sits there. He takes a slow, deliberate sip. He watches the morning commuters hurry past, simply observing the rhythm of the city unfolding around him. He is entirely present. In another corner of the exact same cafe, there's a couple deep in conversation. They have been sitting there for nearly 2 hours. Their lunch plates were cleared away ages ago, yet neither of them seems even remotely in a hurry to ask for the check. Nobody is anxiously hovering over them. Nobody is rushing them out the door to turn the table over for the next customer. In a world that demands we move faster every single day, France feels like a quiet rebellion. The country seems to operate on a completely different frequency. It begs a fascinating question that travelers have asked for generations. Why do the French never seem to rush through life? Are they simply living slowly, lagging behind the frenetic pace of the rest of the globe? Or are they actively protecting a centuries-old philosophy, a deliberate, conscious choice to value living well over living fast? If you really want to understand this country, forget about the Eiffel Tower for a moment. Forget about the grand, echoing halls of the Louvre, the opulent chateaux of the Loire Valley, or the glossy, high-fashion pages of Parisian magazines. To truly grasp the French relationship with time, you have to look away from the monuments. You have to look at the ordinary people. You have to look at how they choose to experience the very ordinary, seemingly mundane moments of an average Tuesday. It begins first thing in the morning at the local boulangerie. In many parts of the fast-paced world, grabbing breakfast means hitting a drive-through window or tearing open a plastic wrapper while sitting in gridlock traffic. But here, the daily trip to the bakery is a deeply ingrained ritual. There is a line out the door, sure, but there is also a required greeting. A genuine bonjour, monsieur, or bonjour, madame. There is the crisp, satisfying sound of a fresh baguette being gently squeezed to test its crust. The rich, intoxicating scent of butter and toasted flour lingering heavily in the air. People wait in that line, and they do not tap their feet in irritation, because this small human transaction is a recognized, respected part of the day's rhythm. Then there is the morning coffee. In France, coffee is rarely something you carry away in an oversized paper cup with a plastic lid while running frantically to catch a subway train. It is meant to be consumed standing at the zinc counter of a neighborhood brasserie. You stand there, shoulder to shoulder with locals from all walks of life, knocking back a quick, hot espresso. As the day unfolds, this deliberate pacing becomes even more evident. Take a stroll through any local outdoor market. This isn't just a place to buy groceries for the week. It's a vibrant sensory experience and a crucial social event. Shoppers don't just toss items mindlessly into a metal cart. They stop. They talk to the cheesemonger about which wheel of Kant is at its peak for a dinner party that evening. They discuss the season's first strawberries with the farmer who grew them. Buying food is an interaction, a mutual respect between the creator and the buyer. And then comes the lunch hour, or more accurately, the lunch hours. While the rest of the corporate world has largely accepted and even takes pride in the sad desk lunch, eating a cold sandwich with one hand while typing emails with the other, the French place great importance on their lunch break. Colleagues actually leave the office building together. They sit down at a real table for a proper meal. They pour a glass of sparkling water, maybe even a glass of wine. They talk about politics, philosophy, cinema, and their families. Work is deliberately left at the door. For those 2 hours, they are not employees. They are people having a meal. This profound respect for time extends deep into the evening. Dinner isn't just about hastily putting calories into the body to survive until tomorrow. It is the absolute anchor of family life. It's a time when everyone gathers around a table, the television is turned off, and the complex events of the day are slowly unpacked over a shared, multi-course meal. Even in moments of total solitude, the pacing remains distinctly unhurried. Walk through the gravel paths of the Luxembourg Gardens on a Tuesday afternoon, and you will see people spending a quiet afternoon reading a dog-eared paperback book on a tilted green metal chair, happily letting the afternoon slip by. The cafe terrace isn't just a business. It's a vital social space, a public living room where you pay a few euros for a drink, and you buy the fundamental right to simply exist in that chair for hours, watching the world go by. Weekends are fiercely protected sanctuaries, reserved entirely for long walks, lingering lunches with friends, and unwinding with family. In France, even the most ordinary moments are meant to be enjoyed, not simply completed. So why does this happen? How did an entire modern nation seemingly opt out of the global cult of hyperproductivity and endless hustle? The answer doesn't require a deep, academic dive into centuries of complex history. Rather, it requires an understanding of a fundamental cultural mindset that is woven into the very fabric of French society. It all comes down to a single powerful concept: l'art de vivre, or the art of living. At its absolute core, l'art de vivre is about making a conscious, daily distinction between merely consuming life and actually experiencing it. In highly driven, hyper-capitalist societies, time is viewed strictly as a finite resource. We have built our entire language around this anxiety. We say time is money. We talk about spending time, wasting time, or saving time, exactly as if it were currency sitting in a bank account waiting to be optimized. But the French don't view time merely as a ledger to be balanced. To them, speed is not a virtue in and of itself. If you rush through a beautiful meal just to get back to a spreadsheet a few minutes faster, what exactly have you won? From the French perspective, you haven't gained time. You've only succeeded in entirely erasing the joy of the meal. This philosophy is perhaps most vividly visible in their culinary heritage. Food in France is never seen as mere fuel for the human machine. It is a cultural identity, a deeply respected historical craft, and an important daily pleasure. You simply cannot rush the cooking of a good, rich bœuf bourguignon, and therefore it stands to reason that you shouldn't rush the eating of it either. The entire culture is structured around this reverence for the process. That's precisely why the neighborhood cafe plays such an outsized, structural role in everyday life. It stands as a place that reflects the idea that sitting quietly and being present is a valuable way to spend time. But it's crucial to understand that this isn't just about delicious food and charming cafes. It's about a protected work-life balance that allows this culture of leisure to actually breathe and survive. Make no mistake, the French work hard. They are highly educated, highly productive, and their economy remains one of the largest and most powerful in the world. However, they possess a collective, fiercely defended understanding that your job is merely what you do, it is not who you are. This isn't just a cultural preference. It is legally protected. France has famously enacted laws protecting a worker's right to disconnect. This means that employees are not legally expected, or even allowed, to answer work emails or take business calls after their contracted hours are over. When they leave the office for the day, they actually leave. The boundary is a fortress. And then, of course, there are the legendary vacations. The 5 weeks of mandated paid leave are not seen as a luxurious perk or a guilty pleasure that you must apologize for taking. They are viewed as an absolute human necessity for mental and physical well-being. Entire major cities virtually empty out in the month of August as millions of people head to the southern coast or the quiet countryside for les grandes vacances. And when they go, they don't sneak their work laptops into their beach bags. They don't check in with the office just in case. They disconnect completely. They fiercely respect this personal time because they deeply, fundamentally believe that living well is infinitely more important than living faster. The French are not anti-modern. They boast high-speed TGV trains, cutting-edge aerospace technology, and massive global industries. They just firmly, stubbornly refuse to let the breathless speed of modernity dictate the quality of their human experience.
Chapter 3. Leaving the historical...
Of course, looking at all of this through a romantic lens, it is entirely fair to ask, is this idealized version of France still real today? Can this leisurely, deliberate way of life truly survive the crushing, relentless weight of the 21st century? If you walk through the bustling, glass and steel business district of La Défense in Paris, or if you look closely at the younger generation navigating today's world, you will certainly see a different, more complicated picture. You will see ambitious young Parisians hustling in fast-paced startups. You will see people glued to their smartphones on the metro, endlessly scrolling through TikTok and Instagram just like everyone else on the planet. You will hear stressed conversations in bars dominated by the immense pressure of climbing the corporate ladder, the deep anxiety over the soaring cost of living, and the near impossibility of finding affordable rent in a city heavily impacted by global inflation and a relentless, year-round wave of international tourists. Globalization has undoubtedly left its mark. It has brought American fast food chains to Parisian boulevards, gig economy delivery drivers racing frantically on motorized scooters through historic streets, and the pressure of modern hustle culture into the French mainstream. The pressures of the modern world are becoming increasingly visible. Yet, despite all of this immense pressure, if you look closely past the glossy surface of this modern chaos, you will notice something truly remarkable. The core of the culture remains stubbornly, beautifully unshaken. Even the most stressed young startup founder, after a long day at work, will still instinctively close their laptop and head out to meet friends on a crowded terrace. They will still order a glass of natural wine or a café crème, and they will sit there for hours. They will talk, debate passionately, laugh loudly, and complain about the world deep into the night. Despite the squeezing grip of inflation, despite the overwhelming tide of globalization, people still fiercely make time for the things that actually matter. They still crowd the local markets on Sunday mornings, refusing to buy their cheese in plastic from a supermarket aisle. They still prioritize long, lingering dinners that stretch well past 10 o'clock at night. Weekends are still fiercely guarded as untouchable time, meant for retreating to the countryside, visiting museums, or hosting elaborate, messy meals with family and friends. When the holidays finally roll around, the laptops still shut down. The out-of-office replies still go up. They still carve out vital time for art, for cinema, for strolling aimlessly along the banks of the Seine, and for engaging in deep, passionate conversations that have absolutely no particular destination or purpose. They do this not because they are inherently lazy. Instead, they are holding on to a belief passed down through generations that actively resists the panic of the modern age. They firmly believe that a truly meaningful life cannot always be lived in a hurry. You have to slow down enough to actually taste the food you are eating. You have to slow down enough to actually hear the words of the person you are talking to. Let's go back to that quiet cafe on the unassuming, sunlit corner of Paris. The older man is still sitting there at his tiny, round table. His espresso cup is completely empty now, leaving just a dark, dried ring at the bottom of the white porcelain. The late afternoon sun stretches across the cobblestones. The endless stream of commuters, tourists, and locals continues to flow steadily past him, moving on to the next part of their day. Around the world, success is often measured by how much we accomplish. It is measured by checked-off to-do lists, overflowing inboxes, and the sheer volume of things we manage to squeeze into a single, exhausting 24-hour period. In France, life is sometimes measured by something quieter. A conversation that lasts longer than expected. A meal shared without watching the clock. An afternoon spent simply enjoying where you are. Perhaps the French are not living more slowly. Perhaps they are simply refusing to let time decide how life should be lived.